In 1969, a single typed message sparked a revolution, but the US military buried the evidence for decades. This wasn't just a prototype, it was a weapon. And the real internet wasn't invented for you, it was built for spies. Decades before TikTok, memes, or endless scrolling, the world's most secret network was taking shape under flickering lights, in hidden labs, and behind locked military doors. And it all began because America was afraid. Act 1. The Sputnik Panic. When Sputnik orbited Earth in 1957, America panicked.
Well, sir, what do you think about this achievement of the Russians?
I think it's a remarkable thing. My only regret is that we couldn't get there first.
That silver ball, barely the size of a beach ball, beeped as it circled the planet, a signal that the Soviet Union was winning the space race. But it wasn't just about satellites, it was about missiles, espionage, and global power. Because whoever controlled the skies might control the nuclear weapons. And whoever controlled the nuclear weapons might control the world. In secret meetings inside the Pentagon, generals and scientists were terrified. What if the Soviets struck first? What if America's communications went dark? The answer was simple and terrifying. Build a network that could survive even if cities were vaporized. That's how ARPANET was born, a digital doomsday network to keep military command connected during nuclear war. Its hidden purpose was to control information, because whoever controls communication controls the narrative, and whoever controls the narrative controls the world. Act 2. The Unhackable System. Engineers faced an impossible challenge. How do you send a message if every phone line is melted, if cities are rubble, if the enemy is eavesdropping on everything? The answer was a radical idea called packet switching. Instead of sending a single message over one line, they'd break it into tiny fragments called packets. Each packet would travel independently through a web of machines, bouncing from place to place, never following the same route twice. To Soviet spies, it would look like static, meaningless chaos, because even the engineers themselves didn't always know where the pieces were until they reassembled at their destination. It was digital camouflage, born out of Cold War paranoia. But buried in government archives is a chilling secret. There was a flaw so critical, it nearly doomed the entire network. And that flaw came crashing into history during one fateful night in 1969. Act 3. The First Message and Cover-Up. On October 29, 1969, inside a computer lab at UCLA, a young engineer named Charlie Klein sat at a hulking machine that took up an entire wall. He typed a single word: login. And the system crashed after just 2 letters. LO. A failure? Or sabotage? Declassified Pentagon memos would later reveal something shocking. Military officials actually celebrated the crash, because a broken system couldn't be hijacked by America's enemies. The crash was a feature, not a bug, a secret safeguard to keep the network under military control until they decided who deserved access and who didn't. From day one, the internet was built on secrecy and selective access, and the 2 letters LO would become the spark for everything that followed. Act 4. The Civilian Betrayal. The military promised ARPANET would liberate knowledge, but hidden in classified documents was a darker reality. Ordinary citizens were labeled digital insurgents. Internal memos warned that if civilians learned this network could monitor users, it might spark public outrage strong enough to collapse entire defense projects. And it almost did. As the 1970s began, universities across America connected to ARPANET, experimenting with messages, research, even sharing jokes across the wires. But some professors and students noticed something troubling. Everything they typed was being logged, watched, stored. Whistleblowers stepped forward, leaking the truth to journalists and academics. They exposed that ARPANET wasn't just a research tool, it was also a surveillance machine. And that act of rebellion changed history forever. From those leaks rose debates about privacy, freedom of speech, and who truly controls the digital world. Out of that spark grew the internet we know today, a wild, open, chaotic rebellion in code. Your freedom online began as an act of treason. Conclusion: Why this still haunts us today. 3.5 billion people use ARPANET's descendant every single day. We shop, swipe, date, share memes, and stream cat videos. But the DNA of that network never changed. It still tracks us. It still fragments our data into packets. It's still built to survive, even if the world around it burns. And that two-letter crash, LO, it wasn't just a glitch. Some insiders joked it stood for lock and load, because the internet was always a weapon. We just forgot to duck. So the next time your phone pings, remember, it echoes a 1960s spy whisper. And the real question isn't how the internet started, it's who's still listening. Tell me in the comments, what's your first memory of going online?